Well, the first step is removing the tank, and that is a whole process in itself, so I'm not going to go through that today. I just wanted to crack into it. With the tank removed, we also need to go through and remove the airbox. I may have to modify that tube. So I'm going to crack on with removing bits, and we'll get into the throttle body there. Okay, so we've removed the throttle body cover. Next we're going to undo this clamp and see if we can't just pull the tube off. I'll take some measurements when I get the throttle body off, and then we'll see if I have to modify this tube. Okay, I was able to gently prise that out just with a flathead screwdriver. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now is remove the cables. Also, remembering to loosen the locking nuts helps. It's easy to remember which cable goes where. The long one goes around the rear side, the short one comes around the front side. If I need to try and get in there and undo one bolt, you can't see it, I know, and 2 bolts. So leave that with me and I'll come back when I've got those undone. So it looks like I'm going to have to go ahead and remove the ECU and the airbox after all, because I just don't have clearance through the frame to get to that other bolt. Yeah, save yourself the hassle. You still obviously have to get this off, but take your airbox out before going any further. So after removing the outer air filter case and removing this ECU shroud, you should just be able to feed the whole box out through that side of the bike. Okay, in here, little breather hose, which I forgot to undo, and that's why I was struggling to get the thing off. So I'll go and pull that hose off and we'll start again. Now, with the air box out of the way, we are now able to get into that secondary bolt. Now there's a bunch of other breathers. I think I'm going to have to be careful when I take all this stuff out, just to make sure I get the routing right, and that's part of what this video is for. So I can stick the camera in various angles and try and figure out what goes where. Alright, so the throttle body's loose. Both the bolts that came out are the same length. So what I need to do now is I'll have to pop around the other side and unplug the sensor unit, which is the only thing holding it in the bike right now. So you see there's the fuel injector plug there, and right up in here where it's impossible to reach is the sensor unit. Attached to the throttle body is this breather hose, and I'm going to suggest it's going to be a lot easier to undo from up here than to try and plug it in when the throttle body's on the bike. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that out. So we have freed the throttle body from the bike. The hardest plug to undo was this is the throttle position sensor. I feel like that was the hard part, but now I'm going to go ahead and remove the manifold, which one of these bolts is just for the fuel injector, the other one goes into the block, and there's a bolt on the other side. Now this is fiddly as hell getting these 2 bolts undone. Easier to do it with an open-ended spanner, quarter turn by quarter turn, then you won't get a sprocket in there, a socket in there. So I'll check back in when I've got the manifold off. On the fuel injector side are 2 bolts. They are different lengths. The top one, which goes into the case, and the bottom shorter one, which helps secure the bracket for the fuel injector. So I can go around the other side and finish removing that other bolt, and then the manifold should be free of the engine. So don't forget to remove the light's not very good here, is it? That's the gasket. That is reusable, rubber seals. pay attention to which way it goes. It will only go on one way, but there's the intake port for the manifold. So I am going to take some measurements of that, just for, you know, it's not very often you get the manifold off. Actually, I'll leave the measurements for that now. I'll do that. I'm going to take all this off again to put the high compression ring in, so I'll worry about my measurements when that comes off, because that'll be a bigger job easy anyway. Don't forget to unplug your fuel injector. Just tuck that up out the way. Now we are going to pack that in as tightly as we can, because we don't want any dust or shit getting into the block. And it is a delightfully windy day today. There we have it. I'm going to take all this stuff inside and we'll see about getting to work on it.